I'm thrilled with how the season's progressing. To have 43 winners 2 weeks prior to Cheltenham is wonderful, really. Obviously our previous best was 35. To be sitting on 43 2 weeks out from Cheltenham is wonderful, and it's all credit to a great team and some lovely horses. And to have so many nice young unraced horses as well in the team is really exciting for the spring and going forward. We're a 50 box yard here. We've got 50 horses, and as I say, to have had 43 winners from 50 horses is brilliant. It's wonderful. I think there's only Nicky Henderson who's got a better strike rate in the top half of the trainers' table. So we're thrilled to bits, and we've got a nice team going forwards. So fact of the matter, he's been a bit of a star for us over the years. Actually, he's won twice at Cheltenham. Once of those was over the cross country fences back in December last year. He took to them brilliantly. He was second first time out, and then he won. Obviously he took on Tiger Roll last year, but it was very soft ground, as you remember, and he doesn't really appreciate that. But obviously Tiger Roll won, but he ran a nice race there. I think he was sixth. He'll go back again this year, providing it's not too soft. And the race I'd really like to go with him now is the Punchestown Banks race. He loves the cross country races. He was fifth in the Belgian Grand National back in the summer, and I think we'll just go on our travels with him. Head off to Punchestown, head off across the continent, and go and have a bit of fun. As soon as we schooled him over the cross country fences the first day, he absolutely loved it, and he's been a natural ever since. So yeah, no, he's and he loves the bank. I don't think any horse probably jumps banks better than him. So the Punchestown race could be quite interesting. Tiger Roll's an absolute legend, and I suppose if we don't win the Grand National, we want him too, and if we don't win the cross country race, we want him too. So now, listen, he's a legend, but we're lucky to have a horse like Fact of the Matter in the yard who can take him on and go and enjoy the big days. PACIFY's been a star for us. He's won 5 of his 7 novice hurdles, and not many horses go and win 5 novice hurdles in 1 year. And he was a very good flat horse, and we capitalised on that by taking on lesser horses through the latter part of the summer and into the autumn. He was second, obviously won a listed race at Kempton, and he was second in a Grade 2 at Cheltenham. Carrying a £5 penalty, obviously. It's been a bit of an undoing in those Grade 2s, both at Cheltenham and again in a listed race, the Sydney Banks at Huntingdon the other day. That was over 2.5. Perhaps he didn't quite stay that day. Also, we're taking on the supreme favourite, but either way, I'm not sure. I think we'll probably bypass Cheltenham with him, and we'll give him a little bit of a break now and come back over fences, and hopefully he can take higher order over. He jumps brilliantly. And if we can follow a similar kind of path that we did over hurdles to him last year, we'll do that over fences again this year. The Banner King Rebel's been a star. He was a very good bumper horse, and he's done very well over hurdles. He won that listed race up at Haydock in November. Arguably a little bit unlucky in a Grade 2, the Rossington Main back up at Haydock. He looked well in going into the Betfair hurdle, and it was the obvious race to go for. He travelled really well through the race and had every chance still jumping the last, but his wind gave out from the back of the last to the line, and he's had a few troubles with his wind before. Unfortunately, it's reared its ugly head at the wrong point of the season, but we've got that rectified. We've treated him for ulcers at the same time, and listen, he's still in the Supreme, but that might be a tall order to get him there, and realistically, we might be looking at entry with him. ALRIGHTJACK has a similar kind of profile to how we were approaching the Present View race. He needed to go and win his prep race to get up in the handicap to get in, and certainly it stands that way with ALRIGHTJACK. He ran a very good race in the Silver Trophy at the start of the season, and on the back of that we were always looking at going down the Pertemps route. Unfortunately, a lot of these races have been cancelled at the moment, and I think we've tried to run in 3 of them so far, and they've all been called off for waterlogging. So it's a little bit frustrating, but we need to get a run into him before going to the festival, and he needs to go and win that. So we're slightly sort of push for time on that one, but if we can get it in and he can win, then he'll go there with a chance. Thomas MacDonagh's won 3 races just before Christmas there through November and December. Loves the soft ground. I ran him in a Grade 2 up at Doncaster on good to soft ground, and he served it up to Ramesses de Thaye for a long while, and then his wing gave out. Unfortunately, he's had a wind up previously, and he just needed that doing again. But it's long enough we had sort of enough time on the back of Doncaster to get it done before Cheltenham, and off a handicap mark now of 137, it looks likely that he'll probably go to the Martin Pipe conditional jockeys race. And having seen what the ground's like there this morning, I think he'll relish that soft ground. So Drastos is in the Grand Annual. He's been a star for us over the years, and off a mark of 142, we'd like to think there's a little bit more improvement still to come from him. He's in the Grand Annual. Whether we necessarily go there, the main target for him is the Topham. He jumps beautifully, and I think the step up to 2.5 might just eke out a bit more of improvement over those fences, and that's definitely the plan. Whether we go to the Grand Annual in the interim largely depends on the weather and the ground there. How's that, Freddie?
Good. Yeah.
Garlaw's a really nice horse. He's come over from France. He won his only start in France, and obviously the Triumph was the obvious race to look at with him. We haven't managed to get a run into him beforehand, so it'll be brave to go straight there. We've still yet to decide the right route to go with him, but certainly if we didn't go to Cheltenham, we'll be looking at Aintree with him. But no, he's a really nice young horse.